Hello and welcome to the STCfit podcast. I'll be your host today. My name is Nat Jurek and I'll be joined by co-hosts Ben Scott and Jason Galea. STCfit are coaches who provide premium programming, training and nutrition services to high-achieving lifters. On the podcast, we'll be discussing all things relating to our master method, designed to get you the results you want when you want. The podcast is brought to you by the STCfit Lifters Circle, combining our world-class coaching and education programs with an immersive community to create strong, lean and confident lifters. If you enjoy the episode, please give it a share and tag on the stories at STCfit, subscribe on YouTube and drop a 5-star rating on Spotify. Hope you enjoy the episode.
Back. Like, it's only been a week. I thought about it the other day. I was like, he's only been gone like 7 days.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's only Wednesday and like you left on Monday. It's been a week and a half.
But every time something good happens, I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah.
I said to Alex, we don't hear from Ben unless he's like, well done, guys. And he's just like, they don't fucking need me. I'm not coming back.
Look, the thoughts crossed my mind. When all the stats came in on Monday, I was like, oh, I'll just stay here. This is fine.
It does work better without me.
That's only going to work for a little bit, Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll run ourselves into the ground at some point.
We'll just keep, we're saying, because we've changed, like today we've made a lot of executive decisions, I feel like, the three of us.
Yeah.
Like Tam, Nat and myself. So we're like, oh, here we are all excited, like making all these changes. And we're like, Ben's going to come back and just be like, this is all fucking shit.
Where did you get that from?
So we just spent the last 2 hours doing fuck all. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, it could go the other way. It could really take us to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this
like I'm not coming back.
with all the changes in content that we've been doing, like sharing subscribe your
One way
dogs.
to find
That's what we're doing now too. So it's just like
everything's your dogs.
at any chance, it's just like, share, subscribe. Yep, cool. Like that's
I feel like you've got to keep your dogs in though. I feel like that could be.
yeah. Oh,
only
don't
way.
worry. Tam's got
There's plenty.
the best like improv. Probably more so of me than anyone else.
Right?
It's all right, your dogs. Don't forget
As
to
soon
like,
as you
share,
saw
and subscribe.
the what's it called? The thing.
What is this thing, Tam?
As soon as that came out, it was all
What's
over.
this called? What is it called? Does it have a name?
What's the technical term?
A clapperboard.
Technical.
Clapperboard.
There you go.
So this is the
It's an action board, right?
lights, camera,
That's
action.
the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're on.
And then it's like, all right, you dogs.
Yeah. Fuck.
Every time, as soon as you hear the clap, you dogs.
Dogs.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Things are really taking a turn for the worse without you, Ben.
Yeah, Ben's like, oh, flights back to Melbourne.
Earliest
I'm gonna have a business to come back to. The fuckers ruining it.
Yeah, just like how to stay awake from 2 a.m. so I can just like be alive when you guys are doing shit.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Must
what,
oversee
the
children.
the worst time difference ever, by the way,
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
like
it's not-
make it happen.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
Yeah, we even like when I sent through those emails to Lizzie about like the workshop. She sent me the times. I'm like, oh hey, just double checking. I'm like, I don't think these times are correct because I'm looking at like the world
Because
clock.
they're not going to work.
I'm looking at the world clock and like that time is like this time
It's
in the
not-
evening.
Yeah, that's not
And
going
it's
to work.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And I'm like, oof, this is gonna be rough.
Yeah.
How'd you go with like the jet lag and traveling?
Pretty good. Hey, I sent Jason a message. We had a workshop last week that I was a little bit like, I feel like I'm going to sleep through this. But that day we'd been up in the Alps. So I was just like smashed from altitude. But I think we nailed the flight. So we had like a 12-hour flight, then a 3-hour layover, then another, what was 8 and 12. The second leg was like 12 hours or something. So used some chemical assistance to go to sleep on the second flight.
As you do.
Yeah, like I didn't even turn the screen on. Hey, like I like read a book for a little bit. So I think, we kind of slotted in pretty well. Amy does really well on low sleep. I do not. So it was good that I slept well on the plane. But yeah, last week was just rough because it was flat out.
Yeah, you guys do
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like every day you're doing stuff. I mean, that's what you
Yes.
do, right?
Yeah. In Switzerland, he is a little bit more chilled. Like Amy's working in the mornings and then we kind of lay around for a bit and then do something in the afternoon. It's a little bit more relaxed here being Spain.
You guys are. Are you in Marbella?
Yeah.
Malaga.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
and
Marbella, right?
Yeah, well, we're actually closer to Marbella.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we went and did Malaga City yesterday, and we'll go to Marbella tonight.
How
and
long
then
are
I
you
want a full week. So we got in Saturday,
Oh.
leave Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, we both like Switzerland better, but I think that's just our personalities.
How that
Switzerland
was.
looked
That
good.
looked fucking insane.
The walk didn't look that great, but the
Death.
yeah, well, the stairs
Yeah.
themselves are like, fuck, this looks like it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But like the scenery and stuff looked very nice.
Yeah, the ramp up to the caves was interesting. But here's worse. Like my walk to the gym is 20 flights.
Oh wow.
Up and down on my watch. Of like walking home yesterday after thankfully I only did RDLs and then I just trained upper body because like I'm on holidays. Fuck legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I got like 3/4 of the way up the hill, I'm like, this is fucking harder than the training session. So yeah, lots of hills. But yeah, Switzerland is like the most finely tuned machine of a country I've ever been. It's crazy.
The car train thing?
Just everything about it. The car train was wild.
Yeah.
So I'll tell that story. So we're like, just put in Google Maps, we need to go to this place because that's all we knew, but we had to just go there and we'll figure it out. So I didn't see it, Amy didn't see it, but it had ferry in the Google Maps description. So we like go through this toll booth. They're like, where are you going? Told them the city we're going to. And then all of a sudden we pull up and all these cars are parked. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? Like maybe it's like a roadworks or something. I'm looking at these signs. It's like a train carriage with a car. There's a silhouette. I'm like, the fuck is this place? Walking around, all the signs are obviously in German. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Search it, find a YouTube video. And yeah, you literally like 100 cars drive onto a train, turn it off, put it in park, handbrake on, and it drives you through a mountain.
Oh, wow.
That's insane.
Fucking crazy. Crazy.
How long was the train ride?
I reckon we're on there for maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like Google Maps had all these alternative routes all the time. It kept like suggesting alternatives. I'm like, they're an hour longer. Stop showing me this. It's like they're an hour longer because you have to go around the fucking Alp that we went through.
I'm just gonna go. Let's go through this.
Shortcut.
That's sick.
Yeah. But that's Switzerland in a nutshell. They're just like the streets. I swear, there's a street sweeper on every street in the whole country every morning.
Really?
It's like just perfect. Everything's perfect all the time.
They just sound ahead of the world. Like one step everyone. Every
restaurant's amazing. Everyone. I reckon I saw like one person flustered the whole time, and it was like East.
Caught a glimpse of himself.
I'm like, was it you? Looked in the mirror.
It was like Easter Saturday or something, and like this restaurant was pumped, and this lady was like rushing around. Everything else was like just seamless. But I reckon we spent at least $2,000 on food.
Expensive,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I paid $11 for a cappuccino. Sorry, I paid 11 franc. So that's 16 bucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
wowzers.
fucked.
Yeah, and it was shit. Like
Yeah, of
automatic.
course it was.
Yeah,
I'm
automatic
not-
push the button type. Yeah, it was not great. But yeah, amazing. There's a city there that I've like happily live in.
So what happened with the accommodation when you guys went up the hill and like
Okay.
what you wanted?
Okay. So we have a hookup through Dad actually, who has like timeshare resort stuff, right? So being Easter, stuff was pretty packed and they were disappearing really quick. So we found the one in Switzerland. We're like, it's not in a great spot. The room doesn't look amazing, but like it's a free week in Switzerland. Fuck it. So we booked it. We get to the bottom of this hill, and I'd been sending Jace and Dad these photos of this road. I was like, this is going to be fucking so fun. And then when we got the hire car, I was like, they're like, oh, do you want to, I think we had a Golf Polo. And I was like, oh, is it auto? So I didn't want to deal with driving on the wrong side of the road and driving manual. It's like, I'll have the automatic, thank you. So it turns out that was a BMW. So I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be sick. 1 Series BMW on this road. Get there. I swear to God, it was like just 2 cars.
Yeah.
But Amy basically didn't breathe the whole way up because she felt like she was going to fall off the side of this Alp. And the locals, man, just like
they're hammering it.
It was an 80 zone, and they were just like, "Yeah, it's an 80 zone. We're fucking going." So it was like 20 minutes.
Always like that. Always.
Madness. So 20 minutes to get to the top. Amy's like stressed out of her head, thinking that we're going to fall off the mountain. Walk into reception, it's unattended. So like, okay, that's cool. Like we just get our key box. There'll be a map to our room, and we'll be all sweet. Got a key that has a number on it and a parking sticker to park. Like, okay. Walking around, no other instructions, no other information. This place is fucking huge. Like it's a full ski resort. It's like we don't know where our room is. We don't know where we're supposed to park. We don't know anything. So like, okay, we'll just start walking around looking for room numbers and just see how we go. So I think 10 minutes we found the room, got out to the room, just put the key in, was like, okay, it opens. That's good. Walked in and was like, okay, this is what we expected. Like,
yeah,
the bed's basically springs with a piece of like felt over the top of it. The couch is cardboard. Like it's hot in here. Whatever. It was free. And then and Amy gets out of the shower. She's like, the water pressure is really good. And I was like, uh-oh. It's like, why are you pointing out that? Like, what do you mean? She's like, you'll see. I'm like, okay. So I went in, go to the bathroom, lift the lid of the toilet, and the whole thing comes off in my hand.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this has gone well. Like, to be fair, it was clean, but yeah, the toilet lid up. And then, yeah, went to get in the shower. Like, I understand for anyone who is European that, like, they have all of their showers over here, like the removable ones.
Yeah.
So it was a bath with that, but instead of mounting it so you have the option to have a shower or a bath, it was like at chest height.
Oh wow!
So you had to hold it up and shower yourself. So I was like, okay. Amy's like, I've been on a plane for like, we'd been in transit at that point for maybe 45 hours.
Fuck. Since
we like left Melbourne.
Yeah.
Just Amy's like, I can't wash my hair. I can't really like wash my body properly. And yeah, like went in, sat on the bed, and we're like, nah, fuck this. Like, thankfully we did, we were very surprised with the generosity of everyone from our wedding. And we're like, if there's ever a time to use that money, this is fucking it. Let's go.
Get us the fuck out of Yeah, there's nothing worse than when you've been traveling and you just want like a good bed and a hot shower, and like you get there and it's not that.
Yeah, I feel like you stay in a place like that when you've made the decision to
go to a hostel.
Yeah, like to go backpacking shit at like 19 because you have no money. It's like, I don't know if a honeymoon.
That's the worst part. I reckon there was fucking 3 people there in the whole place because it's off season here. Like there was no snow. Yeah. So it was like, it wasn't even like we could. Yeah, so that was the kicker. Actually, it was, let's go get dinner. And it was like the local pub had like 3-star reviews. And was like, people are rude, aren't accommodating. The food was terrible. It's overpriced. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, we'll just go into town. That's a 25-minute drive down and back up this mountain. Like, fuck that. Oh, yeah. So Amy was on. Yeah, that's it. So Amy was on Booking.com very quickly, and we drove through that town that I said that I would live in. We drove through there on the way, and just like, I fell in love with it straight away. I was like, let's go stay there.
Where was that?
It's called Bern.
What like what's so good about it that like you would want to live there?
It's like busy enough, very cafe like orientated. Wasn't many tourists, but everyone spoke English because it was like obviously enough tourists go there, and it's close enough to the big city, so everyone spoke English and was really, really friendly. But yeah, like we drove over this cobblestone bridge over obviously a river that comes from the snow. So it was like crystal clear. Parked, walked through. First shop that I saw, it was like a whiskey distillery. It's like, okay, we're in a good place here. And then we walked all the way down to the bridge to like look at the water. We're just like, oh, we'll go down. Amy's like, I really want to put my feet in the water. Like I want to do that everywhere we go. Okay. She's like, oh, nah, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'm like, no, we'll go. Like you said you want to do it. Let's do it. We get 3/4 of the way down, and we see all these people that crowd around, and they're splashing in this like separate section. Like, what the fuck is that? is that a bear?
Oh, it's
Holy fuck.
Oh, the
So we went
video.
down.
Oh my god.
Went down as literally like this baby. I don't know. I can't guess ages of bears, but it was a baby one. Yeah, just swimming and like playing with sticks and shit and throwing it around. We were just like, this is fucking crazy.
That's wicked.
But yeah, we went to the cafe where Einstein lived when he came up with the theory of relativity. I've got a cafe underneath that now. And that was like the only good coffee I had for the whole week. So yeah, it was just sick. It was a really cool place. Very like Melbourne-esque vibes, but way smaller and way cleaner.
That's
I
nice.
don't know, have you guys been to Edinburgh?
No.
No.
I've only been to like the hot Mediterranean parts of Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Edinburgh's like on my list of like I would live there as well. Yeah. I've actually been thinking that the whole time I've been in Spain. I was like, yeah, Jason like this.
Yeah. My
Like, I get it.
loved it.
I saw you like lying on the like near the pool, and I was like, "That's my kind of fucking
kind of holiday. I know
Yeah, I was
Ben's
like,
like,
I wonder
go
if
to the
Ben enjoy-
coldest part.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if Ben's enjoying himself, like, because this is what I would do.
Not as much as I was in Switzerland.
What's the weather like? Is it like freezing or are you alright?
Nah, we had like a 30-degree day the first day, and everything else has been like 22, 24. Yesterday was real windy, so it got cold late, but otherwise it's been sweet.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah. So I think even Paris and London will be like in the teens.
too.
Yeah, but they're like in this
Coming into
Is it spring? Yeah,
now.
it's
Spring here, yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Switzerland, like we were inside a cave that was like 8 degrees, but everything else was obviously like when we were right up the top of Jungfrau, it was pretty cold. But yeah.
It's fucking freezing here.
I've
So
been
cold.
seeing everyone complain about it. Yeah.
Like, we had like the last hurrah of summer. Like I think
Yeah.
it was Saturday night.
Yeah,
like
it
I
was
was in
so hot.
I was in shorts and a shirt, like walking through the city.
Yeah.
And then it's like 2 days later, it was like, "Fuck you guys." Winter is here until October.
It's happened.
Yeah, and it was just like
Just
fuck.
when you think like, oh, maybe global warming's happening and the seasons are really changing, and then it's like, nah, motherfucker, it's cold.
No, it's actually
Nah,
fucking
it's
freezing.
always last week of or last couple of weeks of April, like leading into May. It's like, nah, fuck you guys. Like summer's finished.
Yeah, winter's gonna be
I love that you're saying this while Nat's in pants, a hoodie, a vest, and you're in
Ben,
shorts
you
and
know
t-shirt.
why? You
Yeah,
know why
I-
I'm in that many layers.
Not again.
I had
We,
to
we have the
disgusted.
same layers of clothing on, Ben. If
Yeah.
you can kind of think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like-
I'm in shorts like 360 days of the year.
That's me most of the time. I just
Yeah,
could
like,
not handle it
Steph
today.
fucking
It's
hates
fucking
it.
freezing. Yeah,
it's
I'm
like,
normally
"Oh,
in shorts
I bet
all
you're
the
gonna
time.
wear fucking shorts again." Like, yeah, I am. I am gonna wear shorts again.
Yeah,
So
like-
I'm married, 34, and I don't
Whatever
give
the
a fuck.
I want.
I can wear whatever the fuck I like.
Yeah, I'm like the person that'll wear shorts, but like a billion layers, like up the top, like a jumper, a jacket, a t-shirt,
Mm.
a long sleeve. But I'll be fine in
Yeah.
shorts.
I had the heater on yesterday, and I was still in shorts. Like I felt a little bit overprivileged.
We just moved into our house, and the heater, like, we couldn't get it working for the first couple of days because it's really old.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not the time for this to be happening coming into winter. It was
Yeah.
so fucking
Is that
cold.
picture of Alex where he's like dressed up
with like a
did he
beanie,
have the onesie on
hoodie,
as well? So-
and the blanket. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I literally, so there's like this, because it's an old house. There's like an old gas heater, and my dad's like showing us how to use it, and he's like, "Oh, you got to press this, and then you got to turn this dial up, and this and that," and we're both
Fuck,
like,
it's
"Okay,
details.
yeah, okay,
If,
okay."
if it's not on
On
it's
and off.
like-
Yeah. So he left, and I looked at Alex, and I'm like, "We're using the electricity one, yeah?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So we just turned the gas off, and I'm like,
Fucking
"Oh,
hell.
fuck if it's more expensive. Like, I'm not dealing with the gas."
Hey,
So we put that one on,
I feel ya.
and we had it at, I think it was like on 30 degrees, and I'm
30?
standing there waiting for it to like heat up, and
Oh.
it's like still cold, still cold. We left, went to the steam room, came back, still cold, and I'm like, this up. We put it to like 32, and it finally started to like get hot, and I'm like, this is fucked. We're gonna-
Wow.
Yeah. And like our office is at the back and the bedroom is on the side, so I'm like,
Mm.
we're gonna need one of those like portable, like put your
Oh, the
hands
he-
over the
yeah,
top of
yeah.
it type things, because that does not travel.
The central heater that everyone like surrounds
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember those. Do you remember the oil heaters on the sides of the house? Was that like
Yeah.
was that ever a thing for you, or like
Nah,
yeah? So we used
not
to
for
like
me.
crowd around them like when we were younger, like and we used to like put fucking towels and shit off the clothes horse, and then it like the heat would push back off the towel, so we'd make a little hot box. but then the heater used to turn off because it was like, fuck, it's too hot.
Way too, yeah.
And then mum and dad would be like, oh, the heater's turned off. And then,
Yeah, I
we
was
get
like,
in
why is
trouble.
the heater off? And Alex was like, it sounded like it was going to blow up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, fair. Okay. But yeah, then there's like at the bottom of the gas one, when I was little, I always used to sit next to it because it would like blow the heat out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like tried to turn that on and it just didn't work. And I was like,
Yeah, I feel like that one's just,
sick.
you know,
Sweet, it's had
probably
its
been
time.
a while. Yeah, it's like you blow
This
all
house
the
is
dust
about
off. Like,
ready to be demolished.
gotta write your name on the fucking on the heater itself.
Yeah, so if I get hypothermia, you guys know why.
Yeah, from every week, like Nat's nose just gets like red, then like purple, then like black. You probably should get that shit sorted. Frostbite victim. So where'd you go climbing, Nat? Oh no, I just lived this house with no heater in the middle of Melbourne winter.
Yeah. And Ben's like, that's cute. Just being with Alps.
It's like minus whatever degrees. Yeah.
How cold did it get there?
In town, it was like 20 every day.
Oh, that's
It's the most wildest experience ever. Like you're driving and the car's like, it's 20 degrees and you're have the air conditioning full blown because I was in like Timberlands, jeans, long sleeve top to then put like a puffer on top of that when you get up to the mountain. But yeah, and looking at snow while all of that's happening, you're just like, how? I don't understand how these metrics are the same. But yeah, like I think the ice caves we went into were fucking cold up the top of the mountain. The normal caves are okay, but the ice caves were like Amy said. Amy's been there before. She said last time they got there, they'd been in there for like 5 minutes and they just left because they weren't prepared properly. Yeah.
Cover all bases.
So
you said that would be one of the places that you would live in if you like had to move somewhere in the world. You said it's one of your top 3. What are the other 2?
So Edinburgh and Brisbane would be the 3 that I would consider.
Really?
At this stage. Yeah. I really like Manhattan, but I don't think I'd live there.
Yeah, the pace. I reckon like the lifestyle, like the pace. I just couldn't get used to that pace.
Yeah.
It's just like they just walk quicker, they talk faster.
Yeah.
They move faster.
Everything's
So I like that, but New York's too much.
Oh wait.
Like where we are here is like it's basically just like sunburnt English people. And they're all like in their 50s and it's like moving so slow. I'm like, get out of my fucking way.
Spain is like our version of like Bali though. Like it's like it's
I'm so glad you said that.
It is. It's like especially like when we went to so you guys are in Malaga. I can't remember where I went, but it was like an island just off like the coast of Spain, still part of Spain. And it's the same. It's like you got all these lads, like half the island is like, is it called Magaluf? I think it is. So like half the island is like all these rich people, super yachts and everything. And then it's like they push all the ferals like to this one area. And it's like all the lads and like, you know, all the grown up people who don't want to be grown up.
That
and
would
just
be the party. One. That would be the place because they went there on Geordie Shore. So I'm like, that's it.
Yeah. And it's like just full of, it's the same as if you went to like Kuta or Bali and stuff. It's like all the bogans, and then you go a bit further out and like Bali, and then there's like the nicer spots, and then you've got like the luxury resorts and shit. It's the same. I feel like, you know, America has like Mexico. It's the same. It's like, you know, a cheaper place to enjoy themselves and like get wild and stuff.
And stay.
Yeah. So I had like I had no concept of like what Spain was. Like I haven't really, I was like, it's going to be warm. We're just going to lay around, go to the beach. But I had no like comparativeness to what it was going to be like. So when we got in, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this place. I don't know how I feel about it because we just come from Switzerland. I was like, fucking immaculate. Yeah. And like driving around was like looking at a green screen. You're just looking at each other like, this isn't real, man. So yeah, we came out and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. It's like, it's dirty. It's like hot. It's not as like picturesque. Like it kind of feels like Bali. It's like first world Bali.
Yeah.
And I was in my head, I was like, I don't think I should say that. I feel like it's very offensive. Yeah. But it's like the more time I've spent here, I'm like, it's a first world Bali. Like it's nicer, way nicer, obviously. But
I feel like I'm the only Aussie that's never been to Bali before.
You definitely are.
Yeah. Like a rite of passage at like 18, and I just never did it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things.
Been to Thailand, but not to Bali.
If you travel, like I feel like you get to a point where you just like fuck it, I don't want to like pay like $5,000 for a week in Queensland.
Yeah.
And then you
True.
just like, I'll just
It's-
go to Bali.
yeah,
and
way
like,
cheaper.
yeah, well, it's like even that it just goes way further.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, it's the same flight. It's like, you know, what, 5 hours or whatever it is. It's like everything's just better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never. I mean, Thailand was close enough.
They're not the same.
They're not. They're the same in my head.
I feel like they're the same in terms of like every Aussie's going to go to one
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
The people that travel there are the same.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Bintang
It's like
singlets.
exactly right. Like
Yeah.
Bangalore,
Then you've got
done
the
the same thing.
like, is it Singer? Yeah. So but it's like
Yeah.
you know, Singer or Bintang, and it's like they've got the tattoos.
And it's the same
Yeah,
demographic of
they
person.
bag for West Coast probably. If
If you're in Bali, definitely.
Everyone thinks you're from Perth
Yeah.
when you go there. Hey, you're from Perth?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, go West Coast. Like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. I'm in.
It's not it.
I'm in. Just don't rip me off, please.
Yeah.
My first trip to Bali ruined Bali for me. So we got this like, it was on Luxury Escapes. It was like 65% off. We went to a Trump resort. So it was like, I had 4 Western restaurants, like 6 pools. It was right on this like black sand beach overlooking a temple. Everything was included for like 6 days or something. So then the next time we went back, we stayed like, there's like Seminyak and Kuta, and there's one in between.
Yeah.
Whatever the one in between is. We stayed there and I was like, oh, this sucks compared to the 6-star resort that we just managed to get really, really cheap last time. Like, fuck Bali.
That's your fault, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Bali.
Bali.
Yeah, Bali didn't do nothing, bro.
Bro, I didn't want
to just be like, oh,
Fucked you up.
You just went too nice at the start. You got to progress.
You
You work your
stand
way
it up.
up.
Yeah, you have to start low and then build yourself
It's
up.
like
Yeah.
buying a car. It's like if you buy, you can't buy
First car.
a worse car. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
regress.
And if you should, it's like you just like sell yourself. Oh yeah, this is good for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It
oh,
hurts my feelings, but I've got to do it.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you just did that on the next level with Bali. You started at the top. So the only way is down.
Yep.
Yeah, you ruined
Yep.
yourself.
It's probably why Switzerland was so good. He walked into this place and was like, I'm not fucking sleeping here.
Yeah.
I'm coming across very fucking pretentious on this podcast.
Such a princess.
These episodes, we actually show you guys how precious we really are.
What have you got coming up? Where are you next?
So we fly to Paris on Saturday, there for a full week, and then London the Saturday after that for a full week, and then fly home.
That'll be nice.
Yes.
Yeah, then we
The fly home part. Yes. No.
Jason's
hope
like
you have
putting
a
his
great-
feet up on the table.
I hope you have a great holiday. Yeah. And when Ben gets back, I'm like
Like,
sitting on the chair, feet on the desk, just like, oh, you're back, are you? Well, things changed.
All the changes we've made.
Here's all the things I fucked up
No.
while you're away.
Here's all the things you need to fix.
Yeah, here's the to-do list of mistakes.
We are making very good strategic decisions, guys. Like, share, subscribe.
Your dogs.
Your dogs.
So what's your I would live there if
Oh, is it like it has to be places we visited, right? Because we wouldn't really
you wouldn't
kind of
know what it's like.
Yeah. It's really hard because I've only ever been to like really big like party destinations. So
That's my problem too.
So
I
I'd
said
be
that
that,
to
like,
Alex
I'll be that
yesterday.
dude that's like, dude, like I'm like Peter Pan. Like everyone would be like, he's
Yeah.
this fucking old dude. Like at these like
Like,
yeah. Well, so I was just about to say like the funnest place.
yeah.
The funnest place I've ever been to is Ibiza. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you now, like
Yeah.
it's just like, and people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, here we go," rah, 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 rah. But like, it's just one of those places where like it's a really beautiful place during the day,
Yeah, and then
and then
at
it's
night.
just like at 2:00, it's like someone starts playing some music, and it's like the bass just gets harder every hour, and
but
then the
it's
sun.
just playing all the time as
Yeah,
well.
and
Like
then
you
you're at
wake
the-
up and then you just hear this underlying bass.
It's the best.
Somewhere.
Yeah. So there, was fun.
You couldn't live there though, because
No,
you
I
would
couldn't.
probably
well,
die.
The hardest part of that is like for me, it's like every time I go on holidays, I go to chill out or party as hard as I can.
Yeah.
I don't really. I'm not a sightseer. Like me and my mate went to America to watch sport, and then we're like, oh, we'll go around New York, you know. So we did
Yeah.
like 30,000 steps, walked everywhere, business district, this district, whatever. And then we got to like the Empire State Building, and it was like the line was around the corner, and I'm like, it's a pretty big building, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, I've seen all I need to see. I don't know about you,
Done.
because I'm like, I'm not lining up in that line to walk up that building, you know? Same like I went to the Vatican and I did the walk, but it's like, I'm just one of those people. I'm like, it's a building, it's a this, it's a that. I'm like, I just want to go like eat good food, chill on the beach. And then I'm like, where's the beach party at? So yeah, I know I sound real like a bit of a wild child, but
cut from the same cloth.
hey, awesome. Yeah. So that's it. And then I think like another fun place that I've been to that, you know, obviously like I would live at maybe, is like Split in
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
It's just a same thing. It's like, but it's like next level.
Did you do the sail?
I did Yacht Week. We did Yacht Week. So, but it's the same thing. It's like super yachts and like fucking, you know, like nice people, like party, you know, it's just like the food's kind of shit. I didn't like the food there, but
really,
but I'm pretty fussy.
Yeah.
You know, so but maybe like a more civilized place to live
as an adult with responsibilities
would be Brisbane as well.
Brisbane's the only place I have reference that I could do my job and stay alive.
Well, that's it. 'Cause it's like, well, I've been to Barcelona twice. I've been to Spain. Like Spain was good. It's just like I don't know. It wasn't really for me. Been to the UK. It's just too cold. I was like a week out from summer. It was like 11 degrees. I'm like, fuck that. Italy was good, but again,
sounds like heaven to me.
Yeah, you like
it's almost summer. It's still 11. I'm like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Nah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I reckon just like maybe 20 minutes north of Brisbane, like not
nice.
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Because it's like Brisbane, Gold Coast, right? Yeah. So in between, I reckon.
The other way around, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gold Coast is on the South Australia.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Above is like Noosa and that.
Yeah. Sunshine Coast would be good. My mum just moved to the Sunshine Coast, so I'm pretty keen to get up there.
Yeah,
good
that's
excuse.
Because
I can go to like Noosa and I can just drive to see mum. It's like,
how far is it?
About an hour.
Oh.
Yeah.
So do you reckon it'd be too slow for you, like a coastal place like that to live?
No, we really like the beach. Like, I think I'm probably like maybe 10 years too soon from moving down the coast. Like, we've talked about my living situation, how I'm trying to buy a house. And we were going to buy a house in Ocean Grove. And then I was just like, I said to Steph, I'm like, okay, so let's lay this all out on the table. Because I'm like, we need to know I'm the process orientated, like,
the logical,
Yeah. I'm like, I'm laying this out on the table. We need to make this decision. So I'm like, these are all the good things and these are all the bad things. And then she was like, oh, well, when you put it like that, it's not good. And I was like, well, we need to fucking talk about this. I'm like, you can't go to High Point. You can't go to Chadstone. You can't go to the city. I'm like, because we're fucking like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And I said, you have to plan all this stuff. And I said, and you got to drive like, 8 hours a week.
I feel like it's good for like the moment whilst you're there.
Yeah.
But to do anything other than be there, it's shit.
Yeah, well, I feel like every time you go on a holiday, you're just like, oh, I could live here. And it's like, because you're on fucking
not
holidays, bro.
You go to the beach every day.
Yeah.
It's like, wait till you get sick. And that's when you really want to know if you want to
live
live somewhere.
It's like an hour and a half away.
It's like if you have an infection, get an infection in a city, and then if you survive, you live there.
Get told your skin's about to eat itself.
Yeah. It's like, nah, it looks fine,
would
bro.
not have made it. Half an hour too late.
Yeah.
You've been in trouble.
So healthcare will probably be a big one. But anyway,
we were having that exact conversation yesterday. Just like people would go to places and be like, yeah, I could definitely live here and do this forever. It's like, no, you fucking couldn't. Like, it's great when you can go out for dinner every day and that someone feeds you and you've got in your budget to eat at restaurants twice a day for a whole week. But like, go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
And cook and drive to the city for in traffic or whatever it is. Like, go shopping.
Yeah.
It's like, it was cool when you drove that 90-minute trip to go see from where we are now to like the cool outlets. It's like, that's fine when you're on holidays. It's like you said, you want to just pop down to High Point. It's like, nah, bro, that's not it.
Yeah. What about you? What's your? Like, I'm pretty sure I just repeated it.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same problem.
All the things you said.
Yeah. I think the only other place that I've been to that I probably couldn't live there, but I really liked was Hawaii.
Oh, I went to Hawaii. Hawaii was grouse.
Yeah, it's just like so. Like beautiful, like scenery wise, everyone's so relaxed.
Hawaii's so pure, I think is the word.
Like that's why.
Yeah.
And we went from Vegas to Hawaii, so it was very welcome.
That's a very big shift.
Really needed to.
It's a really
to
big
do nothing.
Shift, yeah. Change of pace, we'll call it. I feel like the thing that hurts my feelings about Hawaii is like America adopted it.
Yeah.
It's like we're coming here. You know, like I feel like it'd be a nicer place if it
was
wasn't
just-
Americanized
yeah.
so much. Like,
Yeah.
because it's so green, like, and everything that's native there is massive.
And it's all just like it's not modern. Like it's all just kept the way
Yeah,
it is. Like
yeah.
it's
They know it. They're onto a good thing. It's like this is the way it should be, and we're not changing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would probably say that because that's the only like civilized place that I could mention.
That I
but
didn't
all
party
the
at.
others are Greece, Croatia,
Yeah.
Serbia.
I'll tell you what, Greece is a good life.
Spain.
You can tell why in
Yeah.
Greece, like, things are the way they are because they just don't give a fuck.
No,
like,
none whatsoever.
yeah, we hired like these motorbikes, and my mate like didn't
nearly
have a
died.
license. Well, he didn't have a license in Australia because he lost it for drink driving and drag racing a police car.
Oh my god.
And like he didn't know, but how they pretend, so then
Yeah.
they get you in trouble. But he was drunk at the time too, so he got in a lot of trouble. So anyway, he didn't have a license, and then the guy's like, so me and Steph are getting these motorbikes, to drive around the island, and he's like, oh, what about you? Do you want a motorbike? And he goes, oh, I don't have a license, and he goes, I don't care. I'm like, I don't care, man. He goes, you give me the money and you take the bike. Like, I don't give a fuck. So we're just like, okay.
There are no rules.
Like,
on this
yeah,
place.
it's just this place in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there in his chair in the sun,
Nothing else
just chilling out.
exists.
And I'm like, oh, so what do you guys do when it gets cold? And he goes, oh, never gets cold here. And he's like with his leather skin, just sitting there, like just chewing on his gum, just fucking sitting around. I'm like, oh man,
The
like,
life.
Yeah, well, it's a good life, but I
Yeah.
feel like, from an economic perspective, it'd probably be a bit tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when we went to Greece, like I had this idea of like what Europe was like.
Yeah.
So we went to Mykonos first, and then we went to Paros.
Yeah.
And we went to like go out to eat at like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, this is the epitome of what I thought Europe was like, because there's like kids playing soccer on the road and
Yeah.
like parents like just drinking coffee
Yeah,
at
it's
like
the best.
midnight. Everything's open.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? This is like
Yeah.
so
And they have all those like
cliche.
little alleyways and like those little nice like concrete openings
and the
shit.
flowers
Yeah,
like
it's-
over the top.
It's fucking
Yeah,
beautiful.
so nice.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of like the total opposite. I remember when we were flying to Europe, it was like a stopover for like 20 hours in Abu Dhabi. So we're like flying in, and we had to stay, I think we got there at like 6 a.m. and our next flight was at 11 p.m. So we're like, okay, we'll get like a nice place to stay,
Yeah.
to eat something, have like a rest, and then we'll like catch our next flight. So as we're flying in, like starving, hungry, like tired, over the speaker, they're like, so we just want to let all of you know that
Can't leave.
6 a.m. So like the sun's come up. So it's Ramadan at the moment, and you won't be able to access anything. And I'm just sat there and I'm like, this may be the end of me. Like, I don't know how I'm going to fucking survive this. So we got to the hotel and like the place, and they had this huge like buffet. So I just looked at everyone and we're like, you fucking eat like you've never eaten before, because we're not going to be able to eat until we get out of this place.
This is where I do my best work, guys.
Yeah, so I'm just like going through the buffet, like
Labrador Nat kicks
loading
in.
up the plate, like getting a little bit of everything. And then it gets to like 3 o'clock. So like we go upstairs, we went shopping, nothing was open. Like it's a ghost town. Like there's nothing to do. So we go back home and we're like, all right, we've got like another 9 hours to kill. We're hungry again. Like, what the fuck are we going to do? So like, all right, let's go down and see if the buffet's open. So we like go there and they're like, you had to have a booking. Like you couldn't sit down. And we're like looking at this place. It's like a 5-star restaurant. It's going to be an exorbitant amount of food, like to pay to sit down and eat.
Yeah.
So we're like, do you just want to go? Like, what are we going to do? We're going to starve to death, or we're going to like pay our life savings here
I
to
love
eat?
that. We're going to starve to death because we haven't eaten in 9
Yeah.
hours.
But we're like 18 at this point in time. So you're like, I don't want to pay an arm and a leg to
Yeah,
eat something.
Of course, 100%.
So we're like, all right, let's just go. So we sit down and we're like eating again, like you've never seen food before, like your life depends on it. Load up your plate. And like someone kept coming up to us, like this guy in a big suit with a tie, like looked like he owned the place. And he's like, what number are you guys? Like, what room are you in? Like he kept asking us. And we're like petrified because we're like, we shouldn't be here. Someone's going to yell at us. We're going to get in trouble. But we're like, just fucking go, everyone. Just eat. So we left and we're like, we're going to get slapped with like the biggest like fine, what we called it, for coming into this place and trying to eat. So like we leave and they're like, so did you guys use anything like from the room or whatever? And we're like, we ate at the buffet at lunchtime. And they're like, oh, there's nothing here. You guys are all good to go.
Hey,
And we're like, oh my God.
could you imagine how that day would have gone if you knew that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sat
We
there
would have
all
just
day.
been so relaxed. And that was the worst part. I'm like, we had to worry for nothing.
When we went to Thailand, we bought these tickets from this like budget airline, and the airline went bankrupt over the time that we were there.
Oh my God.
So we were trying to get home, and like it was 4 boys, so we're just like, what time are we flying out? And we all just made up a time, and then we just told each other.
No one actually knew.
No one even checked. So then we get to the airport, and then like plane had already left like 2 hours ago. So we're just like, well, fuck, like what do we do now? And then the lady at the counter just said, wait here. And I was like, what, we're going to be part of one of those TV shows? Like camera starts coming out like, these morons got to a flight 2 hours after they should have, you know? And then they said something about they needed to send us to a hotel. So we're like, what the fuck is going on here? And then all of a sudden, like 200 Australians come out of this like terminal with all their shit, and they're fucking yelling and swearing and everything. They've been on the tarmac for like, I don't know, however long. The plane's malfunctioned,
Oh my God.
whatever. And so they're like, you guys go with them. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And they're like, the planes aren't working. We need to put you guys up. So we just blended in, and we're like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like we've been here all afternoon, you know. And then they took us to this resort, and it's like they said, well, you can't leave. You can't leave the resort because you can fly home at any moment. And we're like, what the fuck? And like, I was over it. Like, 14 days with my friends. Like, I pushed it too much. Like, we got greedy.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't spend that much time with your mates.
Yeah.
Like, just every night going out, you just see the best and the worst of them. So I was fucking over them. And I knew they were over me too. And all I wanted to do was go home and see my dog and fucking just sleep in my bed. And what to keep us entertained, they just kept the buffet open all day, so you just could eat all time. It's like they just said, like, keep these guys happy, like just give them food. And we could just like go to the buffet, or like, and it took like I think like 3 days to get us home.
Really?
Yeah, and we
What
had to,
the fuck?
because they tell us like, you're flying out now, so you'd have to pack all your shit, and then you'd get to the airport, and then they'd be like, we can't get you on this flight, so they put you, but they take you back.
Oh my God, what a nightmare.
Yeah, so then we had to fly into Kuala Lumpur, and we had like 14, I think it was like 11 hours, like between flights, because they just put you on the cheap ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we just ate like their version of KFC for like the whole day. Like just every couple of hours, we just sit there and eat KFC, and then eventually I finally got home.
That sounds very painful.
It was fucking nuts. Yeah,
that's horrible.
And the flight was $500 return, so you know.
There you go.
Worth every cent.
Penny pinching.
Worth it.
Now it's like, I'll just pay for the shortest flight on the best airline, please.
Yeah, with like when you get like the one that's cheap with like 3 stops in between, you have to go backwards somewhere as well.
Oh man, like when we flew to Europe, like we got these cheap flights, and it said something about this like stop in Colombo, and I was like, whatever, like let's book it, it's cheap. And then like we're flying across the Middle East, and we've already been in transit for like fucking 18 hours. And then we just stop in like, I think it's like just off Sri Lanka somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, and they just put us on the tarmac, and that was it. Turn the engine off, turn the aircon off, everything. It's like fucking 40 degrees outside. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on in here? These people start coming on the plane dressed in like some ceremonial outfit, and they start putting all this incense and shit through the plane. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And we just sat there for like an hour roasting. Like absolutely roasting, and then we just took off.
I would actually pay to see like your reaction in that moment.
Oh fuck! I was like, I looked at Steph and I'm like, fucking hell, mate. There's no amount of money that I would not spend right now to like, get me the fuck out of here.
Convenient.
Yeah.
How cheap are business class tickets? Like halfway through the flight home.
Yeah. Oh man.
When you're just like, it was only an extra $2,000. It's like, I've been on holidays for a month. I want to die. Put me in my bed. Yes, I should have paid for business class tickets.
That upsell. Upsell. It's like, hey, if you pay me $1,500 right now, I could move you up to business class. Like, I wonder why they don't do that more often. The old upsell. Take it
whilst you're really uncomfortable. Then
the old upsell. Yeah, there's been a few times where they get me when I'm weak.
Like, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't care about the money.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That reminds me of when I don't know what did you do Yacht Week with like the actual proper nice yacht or the like piece of shit?
I think did you guys do sail? So it's like all prepared for you guys.
We did bus about, and it was like the smallest like boat that you could possibly find. Like they had all the boats lined up.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder which one's ours. And they're like, that one, like the little one, like at the start. So we walked in, and like the room is so small. Like it was literally half the size of this mat. Like, it was tiny. And because it was like 1,000,000 degrees, there was no aircon, nothing. Like you literally like rot in there. You couldn't sleep in there. So everyone slept at the top of the boat, as you do. And And I remember like sitting up there and I'm like, all right, I'm going to try go to sleep. So you go to sleep, but you leave the door open because like you need to get the air in. And I wake up and I am like drenched in my own sweat, like 1,000,000 degrees. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I jump out of the bunk and I go to open the door and it's locked shut.
No
This
way.
is at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like claustrophobic as it is. And it's like 1,000,000 degrees. And so I get my phone and I'm like messaging all my friends. I'm like, guys, is someone awake? Like someone needs to help me. I'm locked in the room. Like I'm going to die. Someone please help me. And no one's responding because it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and everyone's passed out. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm actually going to die in this room. They're going to open the door and I'm going to be dead. So I look around and I see this little like sailor's like window, like the size of my mouth if I speak.
Just so you don't die.
Jump on top of my suitcase and I'm screaming out the little window. I'm like, help! Someone help! I'm locked in here. I'm thinking everyone's passed out on this boat. Like no one's going to hear me. And then this girl stumbles up and she's like, is someone talking? And I'm like, go upstairs and get my friend because she has a key and the door's locked. And if you don't get here within like the next 10 to 15 minutes, like I could probably pass out. So she like stumbles upstairs. She's taking ages. And I'm like grabbing the curtains, like fanning myself, like wiping myself. And then finally, like they came down. They're trying to unlock the door because it's so hot, like the wood expands. So everything's like jammed and all fucked. And I'm like, just get me the key. So they threw it through the window and then I unlocked it, pushed the door open and I'm like, and everyone's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, what the fuck? Like, what was that?
I feel like people think sleeping in a yacht is like, you know, the catamaran with the net.
Yeah, no.
Like they just see the picture of like the person with their hands behind their back, like just chilling.
There was nothing relaxing about that experience.
Sleeping in a yacht is fucking shit.
Yeah.
Unless it's a super yacht.
Yeah, like the ones that have a proper...
Unless you're rich enough to like have a house as a boat.
Yeah. It was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I agree. I would never do it. It's pretty tough. It was a pretty fun week.
But that's the thing. Like, it's fun because
every
it
night
outweighs all the shit.
Every night was
good.
fun and it outweighed all the shitness, but it was still pretty shit.
Yeah.
Like, as in to live on the boat was shit.
Well, I feel like you're just
having a shower was shit.
tired. Yeah, so tired and so hungover the whole time that you don't even like care about it. Like, you're just like, well, I don't have the energy to give a shit about this right now, so I'll just suffer.
Yeah, when we went on yacht week, we like had to buy all our food, so we had to like go to the supermarket.
Really?
Yeah, so it's different. It's different.
Got fed.
Yeah, so I think that's the difference between like sail and yacht week. It's like yacht week, it's like you're left to your own devices. Like you
no, they had like
sail,
a chef on the boat and everything.
Yeah, no, we roughed it. It was pretty fun though. So we bought all our stuff at this supermarket that was like, you know, near the marina. I don't know, for some reason, like the chick like cashed out the thing before I paid for it. So she like when I tapped my card, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I didn't know I didn't pay for it until we checked our bank balance. I'm like, oh, fucking sick. We just got like $400 worth of groceries for free, you know? And so we were on that's a lot of money when we were younger.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're like, oh yeah, fuck no, you know? And then all of a sudden, like about 3 days later, we're docked this marina. And this guy comes up to my mate at the front of the boat and goes, do you know these people? And it was like a black and white printout of like Steph and I in the store shopping.
Oh my God.
And I'm telling you now, it looked like the dodgiest fucking photo. It's like as if they tried to get to the frame where like I was like frowning, obviously because like, you know, natural resting bitch face. And they just like were like, yeah, this is the most incriminating looking picture.
Yeah.
And then like, so my mate was like, nah, like I don't know who they are. And he's like, bro, this guy was looking for you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, dude, this dude was like, he showed me a picture of you and Steph. And I'm like, fuck off, he did. He goes, no, I'm fucking telling you. Anyway, so I'm like, so we're like, what the fuck? Like, you know, someone's out to get us. And then we worked out that like we didn't pay for the groceries.
Yeah.
And then like the last day we docked back at the same marina, like near the shopping center. And like Steph was in the bathroom at like the local, like kind of yacht house thing. This guy walks up to me, taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, "Is this you?"
Oh my God!
And I was like, "This dude, like, you know what it's
wow,
like?
They're really persistent.
Like that area of Europe, we'll call it. It's like they have the ultimate resting bitch face. So they look like they want to kill you, and they're pretty, and they might be happy. Who knows? And so it comes out, and I looked at it, and I go, "They found us,
criminals."
It just came out. I'm like, "They found us," and then she's like, "Shut the fuck
on the run."
Yeah, she's like, "Shut the fuck up," and I'm like, well, anyway, so this guy's like, you need to come with us. And I'm like, what do you mean I need to come with you? What the fuck's going on here? And he was like, get in the car. And he's like, we're going to take you back to the supermarket and, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, Steph and I were like, what the fuck? Like, there was these two guys there and this lady. And I was like, if the lady wasn't here, I wouldn't get in the car.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you guys are going to take me somewhere and just like fucking leave me in a hole or some shit. Like, maybe I'll like wake up in a bathtub and my organs gone or something. So anyway, we get in the car, which like in hindsight would never have done in the now.
Yeah.
And then we go there, and I'm telling you, it was like we were celebrities. Like the staff were out the front. They like gave us like this like guard of honor. They were clapping and shit, and like, you know, everyone was so happy. And they put us in this office. They gave us like chocolates and this big bowl of champagne because we paid for the shopping.
What
And
the fuck?
yeah, because apparently the lady was going to lose her job if like she didn't come up with the money that she cashed
Wow.
out, and everyone was putting money into this kitty to like try and get
Oh
it
my
up
God.
to
Like
yeah,
the amount that
man.
you paid for it.
Yeah, so it was like $400 or whatever that was in their money. I can't remember, so it would have been maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like she was like so happy. We got photos and shit, and they gave us the photo of the security printout, and I fucking wish I still had it. But I got like last night got fucking mortal drunk, and like to the point where I was like crying and shit because I was so drunk. And Seth was like, "What are you crying about?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just so happy. Like, I'm gonna miss my friends for like the 2 weeks that we go across Europe." And I left the fucking photo in the yacht.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Man,
that would have
I'm
been the best thing to
spewing.
have.
Like, it looks like the dodgiest thing ever. Like, you know, I've got this like stern look on my face as I'm like looking at something, and like Steph's like, it looked like the typical criminal's
That's
photo.
so funny.
Fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's so annoying.
So that's the kind of shit that just happens to me. Like,
Yeah.
if it's gonna happen to anyone, it's gonna happen to me.
Yeah, you or me.
Well, yeah. I feel like you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. It's good to know there's someone else. Makes you feel better.
Ben's like, I can't relate.
That's just travel though. Hey, like wild shit just always happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you're due for a story, Ben.
What's up, guys? Hope you're enjoying the episode. If you are, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and head over to the website for all of our free gifts, services, products, and merch. Let's get back to the episode.
Good travel stories.
One that's not going to incriminate you.
Oh, he's got some pretty good ones. It just, what about the
The crayfish. All right, so I was in Vietnam for New Year's Eve, fucking years ago, like 6-7 years ago. So we went to Nha Trang, which is like Gold Coast for Russians, basically. So beach party with DJs and stuff on the sand the night before. The next night we're like, got to fly out early, so we'll just go have dinner. And then we sort of walked past and was like, I don't know, music sounds pretty good. Still a fair few people there. Fuck it, we'll go. So that turned into, I think we're walking home about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I've been walking past this lady every fucking day with like just like a crock pot on the side of the street with all this fresh seafood. And I was like, don't eat the seafood, Ben. Don't eat the seafood, Ben. All week. And I was like, you know what? It's my last night here. Fuck it. I'm going to have some. So the two girls I was with got prawns, like a big prawn skewer, like 6 prawns on a stick. And I got the crayfish tail. So we get home. There's another part to this story, and we may as well add it because it's funny.
Yeah.
So so I was with my girlfriend at the time, and then we had another girl with us. So she brought someone home that night as well. So we get back. This is the only place that we have a washing machine for the whole trip. And we're in Vietnam. So like wash fucking everything. So we had clothes hanging off like picture frames, TVs, chairs, wherever we could hang anything, we were hanging it. So woke up, and I think it was a 30-minute cab ride, and we had 40 minutes till boarding. So we just ran around this room, grabbed all of our clothes, stuffed them all in to whatever we had, and just left the door open. And this guy was just like, we were in a penthouse in Nha Trang, and just like he was just there by himself. Just like, see you, bro. We don't have time to organize you. So we get in the taxi. We're like, we'll give you an extra $20 if you get us there on time. Walk in the door of the airport, and like they're shutting the doors to the bus as we walk through. We're like, no. So we get on. About halfway through the bus trip, my stomach just goes, brrr. I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. So we go into like the room that you guys are in now was the size of our whole place, but it had a mezzanine floor with a second bedroom on it. So I'm with 2 girls by myself in a space that big. Walked into the room. I'm not feeling real good. Went and found like the hotel bathroom. That's okay. Deal with it once. All right, come back. And then for about 30 hours, basically nonstop both ends in a room with these 2 girls.
That.
So the reason that they're bringing the guy home part is important is we're unpacking and these pair of shorts come flying down. I'm like, don't fit me. These aren't mine. That's funny. He's got no shorts. T-shirt comes down. Yeah, this isn't mine either. Fuck this guy. He's had to walk home in his jocks. That's the best. So anyway, basically I just use Finnegan and you guys know what Lucozade is? Do you ever have that?
Yeah, Lucasade's like UK,
Yeah.
right?
So you can get Lucozade in Vietnam. So I'd wake up, I'd have 3 Finnegan, I'd Lucozade and go back to sleep. And then my girlfriend would just like come and open my eyes and make sure I was still alive like every couple of hours. It was not in a good way. Anyway, I did the rest of the trip, came home, got home, just emptied my like backpack into the washing machine, washed it all. And there was like just a pair of Bonds jocks. I just threw it on Dad's bed. I'm like, they're not mine. It must be Dad's. Dad walks in the room, just holds up. He's like, "Are these yours?" I just fucking lost it. Or like it was like in the cartoon, you could just see the cogs in my brain all come together and work out what's happened. And it's like, we have stolen all of this guy's clothes. Like, what? Maybe he takes a towel. I don't know.
Yeah,
just picturing him.
And he would have thought, like, you set him up 100%.
Yeah.
He would have just ripped the bed sheet off, wrapped it, and then he would have done the walk
of shame.
No, it would have been the walk. Like if it was like a footy trip or something, he would have just been like the man.
I'm the king.
He was. It was on a footy trip from Essendon.
Oh my god, of course.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. So he would have been a hero walking in. But yeah, like when you said about healthcare, it was like when you said earlier, like get sick and then see if you want to live there. It was like I'm gonna just take my chances of just trying to sleep this off rather than going to the hospital. And then that same trip, one of the other girl that was with us, we went on like a boat tour through, I can't remember what it's called, this like big body of water that's over there. It's really, really scenic and shit. We came back and she had like all these lesions all over her legs. Like it kind of looked like worms, like on her skin. Like, okay, they're getting worse. They're painful. It's like, we need to take you to the hospital. So the next town we get to, take her in, and they're like 1950s asylum looking beds. Like they're just a frame with a vinyl mattress on top. Yep. And they're like, you two leave. We're like, we can't leave this girl by herself. Like she doesn't speak language. They just like sprayed shit over it, gave her some tablets. They're like, okay, off you go. And then she had to try and find us after that. And then I went home. They kept going. My girlfriend at the time got dengue fever. Got checked into hospital. She didn't, like, when they were taking her to the hospital, like couldn't remember her name. Her fever was like in the 40s, like real sketchy. Wow. And like her flight was due, I think 2 days later. And they were like, we've marked your passport, you can't travel, blah, blah, blah. So like we were like on the phone at the airport trying to like scan her passport and not show anyone and just get her way onto the plane to get home. Fucking wild. So don't get sick in Vietnam. It's not it.
Yeah, I got hospitalized in Thailand.
Getting sick overseas is like the lowest of low. Like it's the worst.
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
What was it?
I don't know. They wouldn't tell me. I just like same thing as Ben. Just got crook, like vomiting, like you name it. And then like Steph like tried to carry me out to like the lobby. And then I remember like I kind of fell over, and then this lady like pinned me up against the wall. She's like, "What have you taken?" She's like, "What are you?" And then I was like, well, fucking hell, what's going on here? Yeah. Like, who's this person? And then they carried me into like a taxi, and we drove to their local hospital in Patong. And I was sitting on these like garden chairs, like in their emergency room. And God. Steph was like, you need to like amp this up a bit. And I was like, oh, easily. So I just turned over the seat and just vomited on the ground. And then they're just like, all right, cool, get him in there. And then like I was vomiting in this bag and shit. And then they told Steph to take the bag and put it in the bin. Like we're in the emergency room, and they're like, no, we're not going to touch him. And I remember laying on this like plank of wood, and I was like fucking delirious. I lost like 7 kilos in like maybe the space of about half a day.
God.
And Steph took this bag of vomit like over to the bin, and she said there was like blood and everything all over the bin, and like she was trying to like put it in. So anyway, like I passed out. They put me on a drip or something. And then like someone's shaking me. I remember I woke up and someone was shaking me, and it was them telling me to leave. And it's because the hospital was closing. Yeah, they're like fucking shaking me while I'm in a slumber.
You're on your own now.
I'm fucking sick as a dog, and I was like, then I was like, I thought I'd only been asleep for like half an hour, and I said to Steph, like she was sitting in the hallway, and I'm like, fuck is going on? Like, and she's like, "Oh, you've been in there for like 7 hours." And she's like, "I've called like the embassy, I've called mum, I've called everyone, rah, rah." And I'm like, here I am thinking, "Oh, we're fucked. Like, this is going to cost me so much money."
Mm.
They gave me all this medication. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And
Can't
they couldn't even tell
you.
me. And then it was like $21 for the whole deal.
Jesus.
And I was just like, fuck, get me the fuck out of here. And then I remember to stay in the hotel for like the next 3 days, and like everyone from the hotel like knew I was sick because they went out into the lobby.
Oh my
So,
God.
but it was really nice. They'd like obviously come up and they'd give me like food. And
When they look after you better in the hotel than in
yeah,
the
well,
hospital.
they knew that like we paid for breakfast and I couldn't go down to get it,
Eat
so
it,
they'd bring it back up and they bring it
Oh
up
my
to us and stuff.
God.
So,
But yeah, it was I was so scared. I actually thought I was gonna die. Like, yeah, I don't know if you
would,
guys,
especially if you're like in
like-
another place, like a foreign place,
man.
you don't know the language.
as soon as I started vomiting up blood, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna die here." Yeah, and I was like, yeah, just eyes rolling, like, yeah.
That's so
I've
scary.
done some really dumb shit. And that was the only time. That was the only time I thought I was gonna die. Yeah, it was fucked up.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
so
I'd
you
have-
definitely don't want to get sick like over in a place
Nah.
like that.
No, I've been
There's a
pretty
few
lucky.
moments in that I was like, oh, I hope I wake up.
Yeah,
Like we've had a lot of these tablets to go to sleep now.
Yeah. No, I've been really lucky. I've not ended up in hospital overseas. No.
yeah,
Just-
Yeah, I have twice.
it's not a loose unit.
No.
No. It's
Yeah.
nice.
I went-
I like it. You got to. It's good. It's where you want to be.
I got so we did again New Year's in New Zealand. So we did canyon swing, bungee jumping, New Year's night or New Year's Eve, and then skydiving. Like that was 3 days in a row. So I was obviously not in a very healthy state and doing lots of stuff. Woke up New Year's morning on a top bunk with a fluoro light above me, and the fluoro light like felt like it fell off on the floor, just like fell over this way. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I need to go to the toilet. The like gingerly got down this ladder. I'm like, like hangovers, I kind of get it. Got to the toilet, turned around to leave the toilet and just fell over. I was like, okay, this is bad. Got back to the bed. It's like walking sideways. I'm like, okay, this is not good. Went to get back on the bunk, fell off the ladder. It's like, okay, this is a problem. So every time basically after that I opened my eyes, I'd vomit. It was just like constantly in motion. Okay, off to the hospital. So New Zealand hospital was like obviously a little bit better than Vietnam. It's quite nice.
Upgrade.
So they were sweet. They're like, oh, like here's some tablets, take these. Has there been any blood in your vomit or anything? I'm like, oh no, don't think so. Walk out of the doctor's office, or I'm going to be sick. Walk to the bathroom in the doctor's office, vomit, come back. So about that blood thing, it's like, okay, on the table, pulls out this great big needle, shot in the ass. All right, off you go. And I was sweet in a day or so, but it was really expensive because it was a public holiday and we weren't residents. It was like $400 or something.
Yeah, it's not it.
Fuck.
Yeah, I got a mate who's broke his arm in Vegas, climbing over like a wall on a highway. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I think he broke his leg actually. Oh, yeah, he broke something, and then like they sent him these medical bills like a year later, like they're thousands
Yeah,
of
they
dollars.
would be,
Yeah, he just
yeah.
hasn't gone back.
Yeah.
He's like, one and done for the States was pretty good.
Never be back there.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, just that's it. No, not going back.
One of my mates owes like $5,000 for a knee. He tore his ACL while I was over there. Just
Yeah.
like
They're
got
medical-
treated and stuff and
Yeah.
came home, did rehab here. And just like, he's just like, well, I'm not coming back. So okay. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like next level, 10 grand, 12 grand. Yeah,
It's somewhere that you want to
got some other.
collect yourself.
Got some really interesting stories about my friends in the United States, but I can't.
Can't share
I
them
know
on
I
podcast.
shouldn't. I probably can, but they'll get
Incriminate
upset.
anyone.
Yeah. Got a few people that can't go back for certain reasons. It's very funny. Yeah, so when I'm like, hey, let's go to Vegas for $1 or something, and they're just
not
like,
allowed.
oh, this guy can't go, this guy can't go for this reason, this guy can't go. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm gonna have to go by myself. Like,
Would find some other friends.
well, yeah,
be
getting to
that
that.
guy.
I'm getting to that age now. Need to find younger
happen
friends.
soon.
I need to find younger, less responsible people to hang out with because all my
everyone
friends
else
are
is
growing
mature.
up.
Not shocked. All right. Let me find a good one.
Geez, 1 hour and we got to questions. That's great.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
great
right?
chat. Great banter.
Let's be honest, we could probably just talk about travel stories for like 4
yeah, it's an
hours.
easy one to just
Yeah.
keep going on with.
They'll just continuously deteriorate though.
Yeah, they started really positive, and then now they're just like, "Hey, how's your travel nightmares? Everyone show your travel nightmares."
What is the funniest pet peeve that you have?
Oh, are we talking about the gym or just in general?
In general.
Look, I'm going because I got lots of them.
Yeah. I
So
thought you might.
if you don't squeeze the toothpaste from the back, I want to.
I don't do that.
Yeah, if you,
I'm the front. Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why you would do that. Why you squeeze the toothpaste from the front? Because eventually it runs out.
Yeah.
So you have to squeeze the toothpaste from the back.
I
It's like,
understand the
you're
logic
not-
behind it. I just don't think
Yeah, so
that far
that
ahead.
Drives me nuts. Because I'm always that person who like, yeah, it goes from the back, like folds it up,
Rolls
pushes
it up.
Yeah, I'm that dude. Yeah,
I'm not that person.
yeah. You squeeze the toothpaste from the front, like you're
Yeah, of
a
course I do.
horrible human.
Monster.
Yeah.
Backwards.
And if you stack the dishwasher like with the without the plates and the bowls at the front and the plates at the back, oh man, drives me nuts.
Oh no, the plates go at the back.
Yeah, and the bowls go at the
Yeah,
front,
yeah,
right?
that's- I'm
you're a
not that much
psychopath.
of a psychopath.
You're a psychopath if you just chuck shit everywhere. Like they're
Yeah.
the two things. I'm like, I just look at the dishwasher and I'm like, I'll just start twitching. Like, and every day I go into the shower. Like I go into the shower every day now, and it's like, look, Steph's just like, yeah, what you know what? I've treated her. I've treated her to
Oh,
the
she
joy.
goes, does she?
Yeah, well, she pushed it from the front, so. You know, but I always like, I feel like because I fix it, I've enabled that behavior. So there's my problems.
And what's yours?
Amy just came up to get her laptop, and I'm like, "What's my biggest pet peeve?" She goes, "I don't know, people."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about
If
right.
we talk
Depends
about
what
the
day
gym,
you
if we
catch
talk about
yourself
the
on.
gym, I've got a list of like just.
No, I think mine would definitely be driving the right lane while not overtaking.
Yeah,
Oh man, you know,
This shit
people
does
don't-
my head in.
They don't know. There's
that's
certain
a
people
rule.
out there don't know that's a thing.
yeah.
Does
They're
my
like,
head
oh,
in.
this guy was like, you know,
Flying,
flipping.
yeah.
He's like flipping his lights at me and tooting the horn. And I was just doing, and I'm like, were you in the right hand lane? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, get the fuck out the way, bro.
Yeah. I was going through these yesterday, and like I was asking Alex some of the questions, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, what's one of your pet peeves?" And I'm like, "I feel like this is an obvious one, but tailgating." And he just looks at me and he goes, "You do that?" And
Wait,
I'm like, "No,
Are you-
I don't."
is it being tailgated or tailgating people?
Yeah, both
Yeah.
apparently.
Jason,
I was like,
meanwhile,
"No, I
Jason and I
don't."
are like, "Why does this adaptive cruise not let me sit on their fucking bumper bar?" While
Yeah.
we're in the
Yeah.
lane?"
I don't want to slow down ever.
You are the tailgater.
Oh man, but if we went to the gym, oof, where do we start? Like,
Oh, there's so many.
so the weirdest pet peeve I have at the gym, and Ben knows all my pet peeves because I go to every gym and I'm like, I fucking hate this and this and this and this machine sucks and this should be over here, but I like this one thing, right? That's
So-
usually how the conversations go down. When you have a cable machine, you need to make sure that the cable is to the exact length of the machine. So it can't
Right,
have
yeah,
any
yeah.
overhang. You can't have
Yeah.
any overhang of the cable. I can't tell you how bad that ruins my vibe when I go to a machine and the cable, like you go to pull it and then it's like this much cable comes out and then the machine moves. So I have to stand like an extra foot away. Or if
Yeah.
there's two cables that you have to use, one is a different length to the other one.
Oh, that's annoying.
Shoot yourself in the face if you put that you put that machine together and you think that is acceptable. It's like I've got gains to be made, and I need an
Reevaluate
even
everything.
distribution of tension on both my hands, on both my arms. Like
Oh, that's like
oh.
the handles I was complaining about the other day when people tie up the.
they put the lock to the
Oh, yeah,
clip
to the
on the.
actual
Oh my
cable,
god,
yeah.
you guys are killing me.
But
Setting
when
me
they
off.
tie up the handles of the like cable that you can attach, so then when I go to put them on, one's longer and shorter than the other,
Ah.
and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so you got the long handle with the material,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
tie
they
it in
tie
a
it
knot
up,
to get a
yeah,
short
and
one.
only one is longer and one is short.
Ooh,
Can't have it.
Really setting me off. But then, yeah, if you don't have like an apparatus to like set both like a double cable pulley like to a thing,
Yeah.
and then have a thing,
Oh yeah.
don't just put the two things
Yeah.
together,
It's hot.
and then it's like lopsided. Like I'll look at people when they train, and I'm like, that's not how you do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That
I know-
bracket is very important.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand why it's not a thing. Like,
yeah.
where did somebody sit there and go, that's
That's okay.
acceptable? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's like it drives me nuts. Yeah, as you guys can tell, I have lots of pet peeves in the gym.
I'm just thinking about Ben's, and I'm like, Ben would probably just say the way Nat loads plates in my garage.
Yeah, if you're gonna use comp plates, they must be put on correctly. You can get like if you're gonna use bumpers and stuff, I'll let it slide. Like because I train with Dad and Tam, it's like we use the Y grip plates. Yes, they're loaded inaccurately, when the comp plate comes out, it's got to be the right way.
Has to sit in perfect.
It's got to be the right way. Yeah.
Now, are you going to change that? No, probably not.
Nat, are you going to change that?
Let me ask you again. No.
Yes, Ben.
If I'm to use your garage next week, then yeah, I will.
I think my worst one in the gym is just like when you go somewhere and Jay's looking for the 17 last week. It's like, and the dumbbells aren't put back in the same spot. It's like, I don't understand.
Every derrimate.
It's just like one asshole.
Mm.
One asshole puts them in the same place, and then it's like, well, I'm not going to fix the whole rack, so I'll just put them here, and then
that asshole.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to be the guy that puts the 20s where the 5s should be, but I'm not rearranging a whole dumbbell rack for the next half an hour.
It's already that far gone that
I
there's
wonder
nothing you can do.
if the dumbbell rack at Good Life Point Cooks is still in order, because I feel like I fucking set that tone. I don't know how many times I was fixing that shit, and it's
that
just
was
like,
actually
this is what's one of the only
gyms that was water every time.
I think that's why I'm so sensitive to it, because we had it so locked.
Yeah. I used to change it all the time. Like there'd be a couple of times, like 2 people would put things in 2 different spots, and like my office, I don't know if you guys have realized, maybe I have a little bit of OCD. I'd just be like, oh, I've got to go, and I had to fix it. Because I'm like, that whole rack gets out of it. It's like a guy's lawn, you know.
Yeah.
Like you want to look back at the lawn and be like, oh, it's pretty fucking good. I wanted to look at my dumbbell rack in my gym and be like,
pristine condition.
Yeah. So basically, all the listeners, like, if we have a gym, I'm not going to Jason's gym.
Yeah, you're gonna have that rule.
Running around like, hey, put your fucking weights away.
You will, but you'll put everything back where it's supposed to fucking be.
We just need like one of those.
And share the podcast, you dogs.
One of those like screenshots that like Tam has of you, where you're like,
that,
just like printed everywhere, all over the gym.
It's all about culture, right?
All right, next question. What is your most annoying trait?
Me? Fucking hell, ask my wife.
What would Steph say is your most annoying trait?
My most annoying trait that I...
Mine's the hangries.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I worked through that. So there was a stage when I was like, Steph's like, you fucking just can't be, I can't be around you when you're hungry. So I feel like I had to do a little bit of like self-reflection. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it's like I had to do some shit to deal with it. Maybe become metabolically flexible to a degree, like so I can just go without food for a period of time. I reckon like she would say that like I just like look at shit that's not like, you know, this stuff like lying on the, or I just put my gym bag on the table and I'll just leave it there forever. And she's always like, does that fucking bother you? And I'm like, no. And then she couldn't get mad because she's like, oh, because I said to her, I go, but like, if it doesn't bother me, then I'm never going to think about it. That was my defense. Yeah. I said like, sometimes the coffee machine gets a little bit dirty, and I'm like, but I don't look at that. I said, I just look at the coffee come out of the machine and I take it and put it and drink it. So I said like,
ignore the rest of it.
Yeah, I said like, if you bring my attention to it, then I'll sort it out.
Yeah.
And she was like, fuck, that's like a really good way of explaining how fucking lazy you are. Yeah.
I just compartmentalize the shit I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm like, the gym bag on the table, I'm like, I'll just eat on the other side of the table and the gym bag can stay there. Like, yeah, just shit like that doesn't bother me.
That's like an 18-year-old male's like approach to life.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a simple person. I don't know if people really...
My hangries are so bad that in our wedding speech, my mother-in-law quoted, continue to look at each other the way that Ben looks at the waitress when she's bringing food. It's like I was the same. Like I've done enough self-work, as Jason put it, that I don't get snappy at people. I just stop talking. So I'm just like, I know I'm just hungry, so I'm just going to sit quietly until the food comes, and then I will engage in conversation after that.
Legitimately like that meme, like, I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely haven't gotten through that yet. I'm the worst when I'm hungry. Like I turn, Alex just looks at me, he's like, are you hungry? Yeah. And I'm like, yep. Like that's it. That's the only explanation that we have. Like, I remember once I was being like a bitch, and he's like, are you angry? And I'm like, no. And he's like, are you sad? And I'm like, no. And he's like, are you hungry? And I'm like, no. And he's like, so what is it? Like, what's the explanation?
I'm out of
ideas. Yeah.
It's like a baby. It's like, it's fed. I changed the
I checked all the boxes. Like, what's the problem? Why are you malfunctioning?
Yeah, it's like, I'm fucked. I'd just be out, like eject.
So I asked him this question as well because I was like, we're going to have this conversation. And he's like, so your worst, like your most annoying trait is you'll make the biggest mess and you'll go, babe, just leave it. Like I'll deal with it. I'll clean it up later.
Yeah, and then they end up cleaning up.
And then he's like, 5 or 6 hours later, at the end of the day, I start doing it because I'm like, you haven't done it yet. And you'll hear me.
And
you'll
you
go,
say,
"Why
I said
are
I'll
you
do
doing
it, didn't you?
Yeah, I said I'll do it.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it?
Hey, I'll tell you what. Are we the fucking same
Yeah, we
person?
are.
Fucking hell. So, I don't know about you, but sometimes like I'll leave it, and I know
And
that if it's left for a certain amount of time, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do
but
it.
if it just happens to
If
have
you get
been
in
done
there
before
me,
hey,
then
that's on you, bro.
that's the way life
I agree.
happened.
And I agree.
Amy, so I'm a like clean shit while it's still hot person.
Yeah.
It's like if I use the pan, you rinse it while it's still hot, and it's really easy to clean.
No, I'm gonna leave it till you've eaten.
Yeah, but, like,
need
your
to
food
eat.
goes
I'm
Yeah.
hungry. Yeah.
So's Amy, and that's her thing. It's like, yeah, but it'll be cold. It's like, no, not if you do it quickly enough. It's fine. So she's the it's all right, I'll do it, and then I'm first up in the morning, so I do it anyway, and it takes twice as long because all the shit's like fucking
Hot.
cold
No,
and
you're gonna let
stuck to a
go.
shit.
That's a secret. You're gonna
Yeah,
let it just
that's
sit
it.
there.
I'm willing to like
Yeah,
get
for a
water
week.
in it.
Yeah, if you fill it with water, that's like the
Hey,
sign, the
that's the
worldwide sign
effort,
for I'm
yeah.
coming.
I'll do
I'm
it
gonna
later.
Do it later.
Yeah, I remember I said to my dad one day because, like, you know what, I
Well,
guess
dads are
older
like.
wogs are like. Yeah, it's like it has to be fucking spotless. And I remember one day I was like, Dad, I want my fucking food to be warm and like edible, not fucking cold, because
Yeah.
I cleaned the whole kitchen before I ate. And I could tell like he was like, fuck, it's a really good point, but because he was mad, he was just like,
No.
no, all this mess, and I'm like, I fucking bro, like you just can't
Admit
cop it
it,
in
you
this
don't wanna-
situation because you're mad.
Don't admit defeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're
I mean,
gonna
I'm sure Steph probably has like a million. Like,
for
me, oh yeah, 100%.
yeah.
Oh, like isn't like marriage just like the person that you're willing to put up with all their annoying shit, right?
Yeah.
Surely.
I heard that yesterday. I'm like, okay.
It's kind of true
Um,
because we're all not perfect.
really?
Well, maybe you guys are now.
False impression. All right, this is a good one to finish off on. If we were all a breed of dog, what breed would we all be?
Oh shit.
Wow. Yeah.
I feel like we need to give Tam and Michael an answer in this one as well.
Yeah. What's something that's like? I don't know. I feel like I got the dog breed right a little bit
For who?
for me.
For you?
Actually, I don't know. I'm not there. Steph said to me I wasn't courageous. That's what she said.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know. It hurt my feelings a little bit. I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I don't know. I just don't feel like you're like, you like lead the.
I don't see that.
Yeah, like she's like, I can't remember what we were saying. And like, when we took Mav to puppy school, because they were like, it was like we were getting investigated. They're like, oh, so tell us why you got your dog. And I was like, what do you fucking mean? Like, I got it because I
like
wanted
dogs.
it. Yeah, I got my dog because I wanted a dog. Like, and they're like, no. Tell me why you got that dog. And I was like, because it's black and I like it. And then they were just like, no, tell us about the breed and the this and that. And I was like, oh, fuck, all right. And I was like,
my
it's
God.
like, it's courageous. They're really smart. They obviously are like a little bit like territorial, but loving at the same time. So, they make us feel safe and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then someone said, let me guess, you guys got German Shepherd. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, how did you know that we got German Shepherds? They're like, you guys look like German Shepherd people. I was like, okay, am I supposed to be offended by that?
Yeah.
Like, so they never really got into it. So I said to Steph, I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm courageous. And she's like, no, you're not. And I was like, I don't know what I have to do to like show my courageousness. Like, what do I have to
have
do?
I
Like,
not done
do
enough?
shit. Yeah, well, I don't even know like how you would have to prove that without
Yeah.
like being in a situation of duress, or like putting yourself
Yeah,
in a
that's like
situation.
threatening.
Yeah, it's like I live in Melbourne in
Yeah,
Australia. Like I don't have
yeah.
to do courageous shit on like a daily basis. You know what I mean?
It's not the
So yeah,
not the
I love
life.
that Shadows just walked into the camera like, what about me?
you're pretty good.
It's on
we
cue.
love you. We love you.
Tam can be Shadow because they spend so much time together.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of dog I would be. What about you, Ben?
I don't think I am. So this is going to sound like I'm using the physical attributes, but I'm not, just personality wise. I think I resonate with a Rottweiler. It's like I have the capacity to be intelligent, but I also have the capacity to be a fucking idiot. Very, very lovey to those who are close to me, but don't really give a fuck about many people outside of that a lot of the time. Very protective. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's there. I just don't have the big box head.
Yeah. I was gonna say you're definitely not like Blue Healer because like it's real like how do I put
Yeah.
this physical working dog.
Yeah.
I probably was when I bought Indy. I was
Yeah.
like as crazy and full on as her, but not now.
Yeah. Now you've just turned into like a big
Oof. And
Rottweiler.
Shadow just nearly literally
Yeah.
rips the whole entire like
Well, from
thing apart.
End of the podcast.
the
Yeah.
the one dog that I can say that I maybe have some similar attributes to, and I quote Ben for saying this, is a Labrador because I have an uncanny ability to just continue to eat food even when I'm full. Like the last day we were in Sydney, there was like I don't know how many eggs were in there, like about 8. There was
All
8
of them.
eggs, eight
The
eggs
whole
and
carton.
half an avocado, and then we had bread and chip. So I put 2 pieces of toast, and I cooked up all the eggs, just thinking like either someone will eat them or I'll take care of as much of it as I could. It's just fucking this mountain of eggs in the fry pan, and no one else wanted any. Ben was like, "I'll just eat something else." Yeah, so then I put it all on the plate, and it was fucking huge. And I just said to the boys, I said, "I'm just gonna get through as much as I can. We'll see what happens." And then we just put the qualifying on for the Formula One. It was about a 7-minute video. And then I looked down at the end of the video and the plate was empty. And I was like, oh, fuck, how did we get here? I just ate like 100 grams of protein from egg whites and like 2 pieces of bread and half avocado. And I didn't even know I was doing it. I was just like, fuck, yeah.
Unconscious.
Yeah, like I was just watching. Yeah, so I just did it. Yeah, so now, yeah, Ben's
It's like when you finish your popcorn before the movie starts when you're watching the previews, you just don't know what happened. Yeah, he just went into that mode.
yeah.
Just blacked out.
Yeah, so
The
now
plate's
whenever there's
gone.
like food that needs to be finished, Ben's like, Labrador or date, Jason will finish that.
Oh my god. Yeah. I
What
don't know.
about you, Nat?
I have no idea.
What dog would you want to be?
Do you know what?
I'd want to be a German Shepherd, but I'm okay with a Labrador. That's all right. I don't mind.
I feel like you're more German Shepherd than Labrador.
Yeah, just the eating ability apparently
Yeah.
from Ben. That's Ben's
But everything
interpretation
else
of
would-
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm going to tell Steph that Nat thinks I'm courageous.
Yeah, that's what we'll take from that.
I fucking told you.
I
think there's a bit of collie about you, Nat.
actually, yeah, now that you say it, I was going to say a Kelpie.
Yeah,
Probably
similar
very
temperaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the 2 energetic breeds.
Working dogs.
Yeah.
Working dogs.
Yeah, you're like the border collie. I'm like, what? The border collie that you complain about 24/7 next door.
You're not that one.
Just doesn't like.
That's not her. To be fair, that's not her fault.
Yeah, it's it. Yeah, you got to go off like one that's been nurtured
Like
in
a
the way.
obedient one.
Well, the one that's supposed to be nurtured the way it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buying a farm dog and putting it in the backyard and expecting it to behave. It's not it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say a Kelpie or a border collie.
So actually, yes, we compare you to the border collie next door that barks all day that you guys can probably hear often on recordings and stories of mine. If we just put you in a room and just left you to your own devices,
That's exactly what
you
would
would
happen.
behave very similar.
Let me out! You guys hear me? I see this in the room. Yeah, that makes sense. What would Tam be?
Something. Something. Really,
What's Benji?
I was
Because I feel
gonna
like
say
he's as
that.
placid as
Benji.
Benji.
yeah,
Yes.
just something.
I was
just
going to say that.
happy to be there, just not to be the center of attention.
King Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're Benji all
Yeah.
over.
I don't know. Benji likes pats a lot.
yeah. Tam, I
I
don't
feel like Tam's like, leave me alone.
You know what? Nah, he actually doesn't. He likes them for about
When he wants food,
30 seconds when he wants something from you. And other than that, like if I pick him up, he will fight to like
he sounds like a
go
cat
away.
in a dog.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So then
Maybe Tam's just a cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's very true.
I don't know about Michael. Like, what's something that's just bigger than Tam, but quieter?
I've got
A larger cat.
Yeah, he's just like the same, just quiet, just chilled out. Like,
Yeah.
never really seen him get worked up. Like,
a beagle. That's exactly
Well,
what Michael would be. A beagle. Because he's just like
Yeah.
a bigger version of
yeah,
like
of like
a little
of a
King
smaller
Charles,
dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's so funny. And we're getting a beagle here, so Tam and Michael combined. That's the pet you want.
Yeah.
You don't want the border collie.
Nah, you don't want
You
anything
don't want
that's
the
gonna have-
psycho,
Yeah,
none
that's
of
it.
that.
Too much attitude.
Yeah.
Too
Well,
much work.
We should probably let you go, Ben.
Yeah, I think we should let
What
you
have
go
you got
enjoy your
on
holiday.
for today? What are you guys doing?
I'll go train. Probably might do some of the book. This week's like work week, so we'll do some writing.
Yeah.
And then lay by the pool, and then tonight we're doing a wine and tappers bike tour in
that'd be
Marbella.
nice.
Very, very Spain of you.
Yeah. That'd be
Good.
fun.
What could go wrong? Wine and a push bike. But I
Yeah.
haven't ridden
How
for
long
like
have you
10
been?
years.
Look forward to the story.
We'll see if the quote like holds strong. Like it's just like riding a bike. We'll see if that.
Actually pick it straight back up.
Yeah, it's just like riding a bike after 6 wines.
Yeah, 10 years with 6 wines. What could? Yeah,
What
that's
could
it.
possibly
Yeah, that's it.
find
All
out.
right. Well, we'll continue to ruin your business while you're away.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't sleep.
You guys are doing a great job. I like the new graphics. They're good.
Oh, there you go.
Making moves.
Give
Like,
us
share,
another
subscribe,
2 weeks and
your
everything
dogs.
will be on its head. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe your dogs. And then listen to the actual one that we're going to play at the end of this.
Yeah.
No,
Alright.
I'm gonna tune in, just like fast forward to the end, just so I can hear like I want to hear all these new bits and pieces of the podcast.
Yeah, just ask Tam for the timestamps. That's
Yeah, your timestamp the ads.
Let me keep an eye on it.
All right,
Enjoy the rest of your trip, sir. Say hi to Amy for us.
Yes.
And
we will.
see you soon.
Speak to you soon. And catch
See you guys.
Fortnight.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into the episode. Don't forget to like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you loved it, and share it with somebody who you think needs to hear it. Don't forget also to head to the website for all our free resources, products, services, and merch. All right, see you next time.